Welcome back to Dutchie Diaries. This is my real life as an American living in the Netherlands. There are no filters. There's no pretending, just real life. And today we're going to talk about my Dutch driver's license saga. And sorry, there's a spoiler alert. It was not as easy as I thought it would be. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you need to know and will help you get prepared for the actual license. Okay, you guys, so when I first got here in the end of 2021, I still had my user license. So yes, I am a veteran. Woo! And my last duty station was in Germany. So I had a user license, and of course I had my American license. But on post, it's so much easier to just like hand in your license. You go take a very easy peasy test, and then boom, you get your user license. And that's the same thing with the German license. So for example, if you guys decided you're living in Germany and you want to get your German license, you can just take it to the German DMV, hand over your paper. You have to get everything translated to their language, hand over the paperwork at the DMV, and boom, everything is switched over. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes on the state, you would have to take like a 25 question quiz. I'm sure you'll pass, especially if you're driving over there while you're in Germany. But anyway, so yeah, I thought it would be easy. Well, let me tell you, here in the Netherlands, it's a little bit different. They do not accept American driver's licenses at all. And it's probably because, well, back in my day, back in the 2000s when I first got my license, because I've been driving for over 20 years now, I remember paying $25 and not taking a test. I don't remember taking a test. Okay, maybe I do remember driving, but like not the extensive tests that they do here in the Netherlands. And so that's probably why they don't accept our $25 licenses. Okay, so fast forward to about 2023, I had been using public transportation and such, getting rides here and there because nobody told me, or at least I don't remember, that you can only use your license here in the Netherlands for 6 months after you move here. So that was a big deal. And in 2023, I decided, you know what, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and schedule an appointment to get my license, basically. And what I had to do was get I had to take a placement test. And based on that placement test, this part will never be the same for everybody, but based on the placement test, that organization will tell you how many hours you need to drive. I think I got lucky. Okay, 15 hours, that's not so bad. But my feelings were still hurt. I mean, come on, I was in the army and I was driving the big trucks. Like, I know how to drive, okay? I never even had an accident that was caused by me. All right, so like I said, getting your license was not the easiest. I'm going to share with you my experience, and it's embarrassing, but I'm not ashamed of it because I know it will help somebody that's trying to come here. I'm also going to make another video because I have 2 cars, and one of them has American specs, and I have the perfect trick, and it's not actually a trick, it's actually legal, but I have the perfect way to get your car converted to the European specs without spending an crazy amount of thousands of dollars, like they say whenever you decide you're gonna stay in Europe, and they say, oh, you gotta change your car to Euro specs. Okay, it's not that bad, you guys. It's really not that bad. Anyways, so in retrospect, okay, hold on. Let me pause this. Wait, can I pause it? Hold on. Going too fast. Oh, I can stop it. Okay. I'll let it just go. In retrospect, what could have I done differently? And this goes to my first video. I'm such a procrastinator, and I really don't like that about myself. Like, I should have had my priorities, in line. I should have learned Dutch within the first 6 months, and I'll tell you why. That's exactly how I felt. So those were my classes, and it's 54 euro each time you make an appointment to take the theory exam. Now, as you can see here, you see a smiley face or sad face after 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 sad face. And that is because I kept failing. And I kept failing because, guys, you don't understand. Like, the English here is not regular English. I could not understand what they wanted from me. I don't know. And then, we got to turn this off. Where is it? Okay. So sorry about that. But anyways, their way of testing is so different from how it is in the States. Like, it takes a while. And especially if you're like me, when I take a test, I don't know, I just get anxiety. I start panicking, and then I start forgetting everything and just looking at the time. Like, I'm more focused on the time than everything that I, studied. But anyways, so 54 euro each time that you schedule the appointment to take the theory exam. Now, if you happen to fail after the first test, normally, from what I've seen, unless you're going to drive from here to Amsterdam to Arnhem to Utrecht to, I don't know, there's so many different places that you can go to take this test. But more than likely, the place where you live or close to where you live, the next time you could take the test is in 2 weeks. And so for me, that is a problem, a huge problem, because I want to study. But then if I'm studying for 2 weeks straight on stuff that I already know that I know, then I'm not going to want to study, right? And so that was the big problem for me. I was like, I'll just study like a couple days before. Like, how can I forget this? And literally, it's so frustrating when you take this test and then you miss it by one or two questions. Are you serious right now? So I've heard from a lot of people that since the last time I took the test, they actually changed it because it was like in 3 different parts, and now it's just one test. So I had it was so much anxiety over these 3 tests, and I studied each part, especially the part that I was the weakest in, and I knew every single answer, but they would come with something new, or like the translation, the English was not English. Okay. So we had that, and let me see, how much was that? That was about 486 euro. I took that exam 9 times, and on the 9th time, I passed. That sounds horrible, right? But I want to see you guys come here and take this English version of the exam without studying first. So the first couple of times I did it, I didn't study because I was like, what? I've been driving for 20 years. I don't need to study anything. But what I didn't realize is that I need to know, like, how to drive here in the Netherlands. That's what I need to know. And, I was a little bit hard-headed or whatever. And I guess just thought I knew it all because, yeah, it showed me. So don't do that unless you just want to throw out, 500 euro here and there. So with my placement test, they gave me 15 hours, and that 15 hours actually cost around 1,200 or something. You don't have to pay that all at once. You can make it in payments. And I'll tell you something. So first of all, you cannot start your driving lessons until you pass your theory exam, right? So make sure you study that first. And what did I use to study? So when I decided to finally study, I was like watching these videos online, and eventually, like, one caught my attention because the guy's voice was pretty funny, and I think the translation was okay. So him being funny actually grabbed my attention long enough for me to grasp some of that information. And I can actually leave those links down below. It'll probably help out his channel, but for me it worked. But it didn't work enough. I actually had to go to, I don't know, I don't remember the website, but I can put it in the comments later on. It's the actual practice tests that they use in the CBR. And that is exactly what worked for me. It is not free. I had to pay for it. I studied. So this is how I study. I did not do that whole 2-week thing. So while I was waiting for my next appointment, I did not study at all until I think it was either 1 or 2 days before the test. Okay, that's for me. That's how I do it, right? So I went on there and I paid, I think, like 35 euro or something for a couple of hours to study. I think 48 hours to study. And let me tell you, my heart was beating because I was so frustrated. I was done. I didn't even want to drive anymore. I was like, this is impossible without knowing Dutch. This is absolutely impossible. But eventually I passed. You see, I passed. And I was like, so also after that, so once you pass your test, guess what? You don't get your license right away. You have to schedule an appointment at the gemeente to get your driver's license. Okay, so that means that you have to wait at least, I think it was like a week, and I was so furious. You guys, you don't understand. Like, I have been trying to get this since 2023. That was a long time. Okay, or actually 2023. And I was very anxious about finally being able to drive myself around. And how were the lessons? Okay, the lessons were all right. Basically, the man, I think, you know what? I just think that they just want to get your money, to be honest with you, because he was like not really saying too much of anything of what I needed to do. Yeah, I'm not going to talk bad about it, but like, it's necessary. But if you know how to drive, you know how to drive, and then you just have to go through the formalities to get things on paper. You know what I mean? So that was my experience with getting my driver's license here in the Netherlands, and thankfully that thing is indefinite. Okay, so after 10 years, yes, 10 years, then all I have to do is apply. I don't have to do testing. All I have to do is apply, and then I get my new license. Okay, so just that easy, and it is valid everywhere in Europe. So that's the plus. That is a plus there. So if you're interested, or if you have any questions about anything about getting your license, please let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have any questions about changing your American vehicle to European spec, where almost every soldier was saying that it was not possible, or that it was like at least 15,000. Let me tell you something. I did not pay 15,000. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.